Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to I think, what is now our third quarterly town hall. Hopefully be the third of many more to come, assuming that we keep having the wonderful, both physical, in-person turnout as well as online. The first thing, let's see, yeah, it's all happening in Grande. Like what you guys missed out on when we did our first event, we actually developed, it's AI generated, but we developed a song that sings about it's all happening in Grande. So you guys missed that opportunity to hear it. If you want to hear it, absolutely let me know. I'd be happy to play it. I still have it. It's a pretty cool song, and it's bluegrass, and it makes you want to dance. So if you feel like you want to do that, just let me know, and I'll be happy to play it for you. But one way or another, the reason we're doing this event is because and the reason why we called the song that is because I really do believe that it's all happening here. We've got a lot ahead of us, a lot of challenges, a lot of things we're going to share with you. And I'm hoping that you will find that to be informative, as well as be willing to give me some feedback of what you would like to see on top of or different than what we're doing. But this is going to be a recurring event. And for that right now, before we go into that, first let me share, I think we have, go ahead.
We're with Joe Sloan, the building official for the Grande, and you run the building department. Joe, tell me about your experience and what do you like about your job?
Well, my experience is I come from the electrical industry. I was an electrician here in Grande for a little over 20 years with a couple different local contractors. And what I enjoy the most about this job is the interaction with contractors on all aspects, from mechanical, electrical, plumbing, to the structural side of things, and getting to educate the public on all things construction.
So sometimes the people that come in here are contractors and they know what they're doing, and then you have residents doing their own stuff. You know, how do you help a resident know what they need to do?
We will walk them through the process from the beginning. We have handouts for them to work with, painting the picture of what to expect and what information we need from you to help you with your project. Because we need all the information that we can get at you on what you're planning on doing with your personal project.
So some of the homeowners who enter into a project, they might not know what they're doing at all. How are you able to help them through that process?
The way we help them through that process is we explain our process to them. We're here to help, we're here to educate. Well, these aren't secrets we're trying to hold back, and we're not trying to make it a complex process for you to go through. We want it to be as smooth as possible. They have to give us all the information we need, and we'll give you all the information that you need to proceed with the process that this entails for construction.
What would be your advice, either for a new contractor into the area and they don't know, or a home builder? Where should they start?
My advice to them, once they get through the planning and zoning department, come down and talk to us. Give us a phone call. Send us an email. Do not hesitate. We're not the bad guy. We are here to help in any way that we can. If you want it to run smoothly, call us. If you're unsure, you have a question, don't hesitate to call us. We have a staff of very knowledgeable people in here from the very beginning of the process. When you speak with our permit tech, who's phenomenal, by the way, to get you going in the right direction, to the other head inspector here or myself. We're going to help you in any way we can.
So shameless plug. Bottom line is a little bit later into the presentation, we'll talk a little bit more about things we're doing that's connected to not just simply what you just saw, but what we're doing in a greater connection to that, which is ultimately, we want to make sure that you know our story and that you're as informed as possible and just how prepared we are to be of service to you. That's the whole goal here, is to make sure that we break down any walls or perceptions of what we aren't, and give you a full understanding of what we are. And the truth is all of our organization, no matter where you go, no matter what city service, we're here to serve you. That is our desire. And these videos that we're putting out there are meant to give quick snapshots into little pieces of that over time. With that being said, before we go into any more detail on that, go ahead and go to I'm sorry, let me talk to the If you didn't see this already, we, on the 15th of April, launched the Grande Connect app. This is a way for you to be able to communicate with the city. The QR code here will take you directly to being able to download it. We are sending it out over social media. We're sending it out here on our email list. Anyone that could possibly want it, and we'd ask if you please be willing to either download it yourself and share it. You can also pay city-related bills online through the app. So bottom line is, it's a great way for us to start having two-way communication, and we'll talk about that more a little later as well. Before we go into a whole lot of business, this is our planned agenda for this evening. I'm sorry, let me back up too. My name's John O'Brien. I am the city manager for the city of Grande. You guys will hear me speak quite a bit this evening, but you'll also hear from some other people from the community as well. One of the things that we decided to do when we implemented this group is that we realized there's a lot of great people in our community and or organizations in our community that are doing great things for our community and in support of our community. Not just simply what you're getting from services from the city, but also from just people who just simply care. And so our desire is to make sure that we're telling the story and that people know what's out there, what they have access to, and more importantly, that we take a couple minutes and say thank you to the organizations and or people. The way we come to that conclusion is through nominations from you. And we'll talk about that more a little bit later as well. Behind that, we'll give you some, could you go back one slide, please? We'll give you some city updates. We'll give you an opportunity for some questions and answers, and then hopefully I'll be tired of talking by then, and you won't have to listen to me give a whole lot of closing comments. Unless you have any questions there, we'll go ahead and move forward. Go to the next one. Stu, if you could.
Thank you.
Is
anybody here really? Did you make it? Oh, come on. I was like, confirmed, I know. Thanks for you saved me.
you want this?
No, I certainly don't. Thank you, though. Hi, I'm Stu Spence, the Parks and Recreation Director. Hi, I'm Stu Spence, Parks and Recreation Director. Very serious person. And I would like to introduce you to Ruby and Anji. Thank you. So Ruby came into my office a while ago and said, hey, we want to help the city, we want to help our community. They're part of the MIC, which is Micronesian Islander Community, right? And what's amazing about them, you might see them around the community, they usually fly under the radar, but not this one. This one's a spark plug, so watch out for her. She's amazing. So when she came into my office, she had all this energy, then she brought more people in my office, and then we had more and more momentum, and it turns out they just want to make the community a better place. So I was really excited to engage with her. We talked about volunteer opportunities, we talked about improving facilities, and we talked about a future partnership that's kind of fast forwarding. We're working on an Islander celebration for the community and Micronesian, what's the day called? Constitution Day, yes, May 1st and 2nd is happening soon, in a couple weeks. And Constitution Day hopefully will transition into an Islander event that will draw people from around the region. We're starting small this year, but it's a city partnership with the club. And this is the spark plug behind it. Thank you, Ruby. Appreciate your energy and excited to help.
Thank you. If Lucy Frederick could come up, please. And Al, would you mind joining us? So I'm going to give the microphone to Al. He's going to speak more intelligently to everything that's great about you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Al Adelsberger. We haven't met. Resident of Grande, love it here. And we are part of the marketplace. Underground, above ground, all around. And over the years, I think we've been doing this now for 20 years, almost with constructional. We've had about 15 employers or businesses that joined the team, both upstairs and down. But there's one person in particular that is part of that team that has just done an outstanding job and probably one of the most difficult jobs, and that's Lucy Frederick. A little bit about her. She was born in this town. Her dad was Dr. Frederick at the hospital. He's one of the 5 that did so much in this town. I guess was involved with General Baum at the time. And Lucy left, went to school in Spokane, left for San Diego from that, became a paralegal, running a pretty large law firm, 120 attorneys. And then decided to come back to her love, which is Grande. And so she lives here, and she came through John Bozarth, who couldn't make it tonight. And because of John, thank you, John, we're able to recognize her as just an exceptional lady who took the underground, opened up all these retail stores, made Thai Fresh even have more customers. But in the certain recent time, last year, I think, she's brought on about 5 or 6 entrepreneurs, we call them, people that are full service businesses, and about 20 different makers and artisans. So I'd like to introduce Lucy and Matthew too. Do you mind if I call them up?
If you please.
Matthew, come on up here. Matthew is, Lucy's his better half. And so both of them work as a team, and just so grateful for what they do for Grande, what they do for the marketplace. And John, if he was here, he told me he couldn't make it because some issues, but she's also a strong Catholic, and she wears her faith. It's not just going to church. She walks it every single day. I see it. And so John would have spoken to that. But thank you, Lucy, for everything you do. Unless you want to say a few words.
Well, I'll
Thank you,
just
John.
say this. Life is very, very interesting. How it takes you down certain paths, and you never really know. I grew up here, and I went through high school here, and then I went to Gonzaga and pursued a paralegal degree there. But then I decided I wanted to move to San Diego, where I worked at a law firm for 40 years. So that was, my family couldn't believe that I would do that. I'm the youngest and the baby, and they said, there's no way you can go away from home that long. And I never came back until now. And so after I retired from the law firm, I came back to Grande, and I thought, what am I gonna do here? Oh, I can't wait to retire. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to learn how to cook. I'm going to do all these things until the day that I met a man by the name of Al Adelsberger. And that changed my life forever. He had a plan for me. And so it's just interesting how life evolves. You don't expect it. You don't plan on it. But things happen and it changes your whole life. So then I met with him through John Bozarth. And he said, would you like to open up 7 retail stores in the Marketplace Underground? And I said, no, I thought I was retiring, basking in the sun. I said, and he said, no, I think that you'd be perfect for this. And so I'd really like you to do this. So I said, well, I'll take the challenge. And I did, and he had a different plan. Went from 7 to 14 to 22 stores. So I opened most all the stores down at the Marketplace Underground. And I find it to be, if you haven't explored it, it's a very magical, magical place. And I love to do the tours and tell about all the arts and the craftsmanship that has gone through. And I'd love for each and every one of you to come down. I'd love to give you a tour and tell you all about it. But anyway, so my leisurely activities, as far as retiring, are no longer, and I'm a very busy person. So anyway, so I had my husband join me because there's just a lot of work to do down there, but I am delighted to be a part of it, and I hope I see all of you soon. Thank you very, very much.
Is Tina here by chance? Tina Bardwell.
Here she comes.
Oh, gosh.
Get in here. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity that I get to recognize a citizen here in the Grande community who serve kids for us. I'm Jason Hayes. I'm the chief of police and have been for 2 months. So I have something prepared, a certificate of appreciation that I would like to read. So this is presented to Tina Bardwell. The City of LaGrande and the LaGrande Police Department extend our sincere appreciation for the incredible partnership we've shared over the past 11 years with Tina Bardwell of Walmart. Tina played a vital role in the continued success of our annual Shop with a Cop program. Her dedication and attention to detail helped transform each event into a truly magical experience for the children in our community. From organizing the store and creating a welcoming cafeteria space, to decorating, coordinating Santa's visit, and even providing extra gifts, Tina consistently went above and beyond. She fully embraced the holiday spirit, helping make the day special for everyone involved. Her enthusiasm, generosity, and commitment to this program were unmatched. Year after year, Tina worked closely with the LaGrande Police Department to ensure the event's success and lasting impact. After 21 years with Walmart, Tina retired in February. While we will deeply miss her partnership, her positive influence and generous spirit will continue to be felt throughout our community. Tina, thank you for many contributions to the City of LaGrande, the LaGrande Police Department, and most importantly, the children whose lives you brighten each year. You truly will be missed. Thank you. Appreciation.
Thank you. Sure. I will say, this is my favorite program. This one and Children's Miracle Network, something that has meant everything to me. While I was with Walmart for 21 years, I have only been at this store. The rest was at distribution centers. Brought us from Utah to Washington to here. So it has been an absolute pleasure to work with law enforcement for this program. I love it. I love to dress up with the kids, do things with them. And this year, unfortunately, my health took some crazy turns and I didn't get to do it. And that was so hard for me because it really is my favorite thing to do. And which led me to early retirement. So I'm still in LaGrande, just baking, having it in the underground. But I just want to say thank you. It was a pleasure to work with you. We had it so smooth and so fun. I will definitely miss it. And if they need any help, you know where to get a hold of me. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Representatives from the Union County's Safe Communities Coalition here.
We'll go.
Yeah, you guys aren't getting out of it. You gotta come down too. Come on down.
We want to keep going.
So, I'm not necessarily the smartest person in the long history of all the things that this organization and many more people, some that are refusing to come down and join us, of what they've been doing to contribute to the overall health of the community in many different aspects. I recently myself had the opportunity to interface with them when they, if you guys don't mind me talking a little generically about it, they ran into some fiscal reality problems like everybody else is, but as an organization that's challenged on many different fronts, amongst those includes the ability to have enough money to keep doing the great things that you're just simply loving and wanting to do. They put together this amazing presentation came down and advocated for the city to be able to contribute a creative approach to utilizing some funds that we've been able to gain access to through the opioid settlements. That made it so that through their diligent work efforts and ability to articulate how it direct connects to those funds, gave us the ability to be able to, or the council the ability to be able to, without any reservation, say, yes, let's help. And so one way or another, everything that you guys are doing for the community across not just simply addiction issues, but mental health issues and many more things, I truly lack the words. I'll probably give it to Stu to ask him to speak to it a little bit more. But one way or another, what you guys are doing are great, and we wanted to bring you down and say thank you for everything you guys are doing together.
The coalition is all about primary prevention, and primary prevention is at the beginning. So we try to get the kids at the beginning before they develop habits that I call them war coping mechanisms, because that's essentially what they are. But this takes a village. This takes an entire village. We have people from the county and people from the city and just citizens who come and help us out. But really, we have partnerships with every facet in the grant that we can think of, and without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And we will always be doing prevention, because it always has to be done. But you can come every, what is the fourth Tuesday of every month at 4 o'clock at the meeting room. Feel free to come and join us and join in the efforts of prevention.
Thank you. Truly, thank you guys for what you've done. Is there anybody here for Union County Unite? Come on down. Is Ari here as well?
I don't think Ari is here.
What's that?
I don't think Ari is here. She had deadlines.
Okay. I will take a stab at what she wanted to say, or what she wanted to let me give you this first. I had the pleasure of being invited to a meeting with this group of professionals, this diverse group of people that come together to talk about a wider range of different topics that concern the area. Topics that they feel is very important to them, as well as things that they believe have a greater impact to the total community, including economic issues. And so when I saw the diverse level of topics that they had that they wanted to talk about, and that they were all, like, they didn't just show up and just have opinions and start throwing negative thoughts out in regards to what is or isn't being done in the city. They actually came with proposed solutions and ideas on things that we can, on how we can get after things. The one thing that I gleaned most from interfacing with this and some other groups that I've had the opportunity to meet with is the answer is really in the name. It's in your group, Union County Unite. You aren't afraid of hard topics. All you want to do is be able to talk about them, and you want to be able to find solutions together in a peaceful and arguably loving way. And so I felt that was important for us to be able to bring you out and say thank you. I was happy when somebody else nominated you. I think they probably have their own reasons. But from my perspective, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Because I actually live in Italy. But anyway, so part of what we do, you want to hold that for a minute. So part of what we do, we're part of, we're there for people to gather, to use their First Amendment rights. But more than that, we also encourage people to get involved in their community. And we're really about, as it says on our brochure here, resilience through community. And so we hand out at our rallies, and I have some of these if you want to see, but we have an action guide. And we have a number of ways that people can get involved in the community. different organizations that you can join, and when to go to city council meetings, et cetera. So that's part of what we're doing as well, and an important part of it, I think. And we have an important civics education arm, and I think that's maybe what Ari was talking about. So, do you have something more to say?
Yeah, as she was saying, really, we're really very into just being involved in the community, and constantly we're looking for ways to connect the community, and we try, we don't want to be all talk, we're trying to be action too, so we really emphasize when in contact, like the people on our email list and all that, we emphasize here's options of how to get involved in the community. We've done food drives at our rallies for the EOU Student Pantry. We're really trying to be part of this community and not just a bunch of people making noise. It's important to us to be both.
I'd just like to say thank you for the group and everyone that's interested. And basically, education is key. We're just here to notify and have a second opinion. And we're not out there trying to cause trouble. We're just another voice and just giving our opinion. So thank you.
Thank all of you. Jeffrey, would you come down there?
Oh. Well, now I know why I'm here.
Guys.
You thought it was just to support a good guy, right? That's what I was hoping you'd come out for, but. Jeffrey works over at AdDad. If you guys know anything about the AdDad, they're of course a local company that supports all kinds of media needs within the community, to include some level of advertisement, not to mention, in fact, it's really advertisement, right? But they've got some incredible skills, incredible talents that they bring to the mix. Most recently, I had the opportunity to interface with a local individual that was putting together the National Day of Prayer it's going to be on the 7th of May down at Max Square. And in the passing, we had a conversation, or she came and talked to me about it, and I mentioned to her that, hey, there's a great group of guys over here that specialize in helping to promote events. And she went down and spoke to him, and my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is like 15 minutes after she walked out the door, Jeffrey had already produced and gave to them some media to help them promote their event. Mainly because I know that at the core of everything about Jeffrey and about Casey is that they really truly care and love the community. And they want to do everything they can to support the community, and they let their faith shine through that. And so, me personally, I felt it was really important to make sure we brought you out, said thank you for the way that you serve the greater community, and I'm not trying to say you're going to get free advertisement if you go down to them, but I would say they're amazing professionals to work with, and they've helped us do some great things over the last few months. And I'm confident that anybody that goes and talks to them are going to feel like they're at least cared about, if not served very well. And so I wanted to say thank you.
Thanks, Bob. You're welcome.
Okay, so I kind of mentioned it earlier. If you find yourselves at a place and time where you recognize somebody who's doing something in the community, or you just simply want a better way to say thank you to them for whatever perspective that you have, one way or another, we want to make sure that people are getting the opportunity to be recognized here and spoke. Now, as you noticed, most of the time, we invite people to be recognized, but we ask the nominators to come up and speak too, because they're usually a little bit better at it. But please, if you're willing, we're going to have a sign-up sheet here up front for a couple of different things that you can get if you want. One would be for us to give you an email so you can contact me directly. Let me know. We're usually about a month out-ish from the event. Send out an email soliciting nominations. And so if you're willing to provide those to those, and then we'll make sure that people are getting recognized here. The second reason is, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, is if you'd like, we're getting ready. We have a draft version of our strategic plan that's getting ready to be reviewed and potentially approved. And if you have input that you'd like to contribute to that, then I'm willing to share it again. I'll talk about that more a little bit later. Go ahead and go to the next slide. City updates. We'll start off with our team here. Stacy, she's our city recorder. Would you mind standing up?
Sure. Hello.
Stacy's thought about city recorder / really kind of does everything.
Can I sit back down now?
Do you have anything you'd like to share with the group?
I do not at this time.
If you have any questions for city recording, you're absolutely okay to ask too. This is part of the portion, or the purpose of you guys being able to meet everybody here today too. Let's see. Mike is not with us tonight. Community development. If anybody has any questions on that, we'll do the best that we can to answer questions if they come up. Same thing with the building department and economic development and finance. Fire department.
Yeah, I can say a few words.
Yeah, please.
He's setting the bar.
He's practicing.
He's got a folder.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Let me get my glasses on here. Thank you for coming out tonight. I'll give a little update on call volume. Total calls for the year were about 965. We run about 75% EMS, so 729 and 236 fires, other calls that we go out on. So guys have been busy and a wide variety of incidents out there. Training, we're staying ready for whatever we come upon. It's getting to be wildland season, so wouldn't tell by what it is today, but this is just making the grass grow higher. So we're getting ready for the wildland season, ramping up for that. We in early March, we met with some of our partners, ODF, Forest Service, OSFM, and a lot of our fire districts from around the county in North Powder, and we did scenarios that some of them, a couple of them were right around in Grande, and went through how we would fight these fires in South Grande, and it was a great training. We're always preparing for whatever comes upon us, so we're doing that. We also completed some training for our guys. It was called Struggle Well through the Boulder Crest Foundation. We spent 2 days with some guides who helped us through the training, and it focuses on their health, stress management, and resilience. A lot of times our crews see people on their worst days, and this helps them, gives them the tool to process that, along with a lot of our other responders. They see stuff that most people don't. So it was a great training. Taking care of our people is crucial, because if we don't, they can't serve you like they should. So it was good. The reader board sign, anybody seen it? Down there? Okay, it's up and running. We still have to figure out the ins and outs and how to make it look good. We're in the starting stages of that, and we'll continue to work on that. But that's where you'll find, such as tonight, the announcements and things that are out there. So it's up and running. Keep your eyes on it. We'll get better at it, making it so you can see stuff from Island Avenue. So, and then I just want you to know our focus is we'll be ready when you call. We're going to train for all these challenges. We're going to take care of our people, and we're going to try to stay connected with you guys. So that's all the update I have for tonight. So,
Anybody have any questions for Merle, our Chief Lacey? Carrie, what's the most appropriate title?
Library
Our library
director?
director, yeah. Carrie, do you have anything you'd like to share with the group?
Stand up.
Hello.
Mike, Mike behind you.
Why? Come down and see us. You'd be amazed at what you can check out at the library. Did you know we have a metal detector to check out? Yeah. Things that
use in the park.
might need to can items or dehydrate food or I can't even think. We have so many things. We have a couple local author events coming up, but I just encourage you, if you haven't stopped by lately, come check us out and see what we got going on. It's National Library Week, so it's a perfect time to come to the library park. We'll hope to see you there.
I'm not necessarily overly well read, and I definitely haven't traveled the world to see libraries. But of the libraries that I've been to, I can say with hands down is absolutely, I promise you, it's at least 5 to 10. Of all of the ones that I've been to, is an amazing library down there. If you haven't been, if you just want to walk in just simply to see how cool it is in there, it's pretty amazing. Let alone all the things the services they offer. Parks and Rec.
You know, I got stuff. Thanks, Stu Spence again, Parks and Recreation Director. This is one of our busiest times. It's Oregon Arbor Month. So April is where we plant a bunch of trees, do a bunch of tree outreach education. So this Friday, two or whatever days from now, all the fourth graders in the Grande School District will descend on Riverside Park to get lots of education. They'll plant trees, they'll learn lots of different things about trees, and then they'll get to lead, when they grow up, they can say, I planted that tree. And then on Saturday at 9, we're all y'all are gonna meet down at the parks office at 9 a.m. And we're gonna plant probably 40 trees across the entire community. Our goal is to plant 100 trees a year, so that's our first step. We do a spring and fall tree planting. This year we're gonna plant probably close to 200 trees because along Island Avenue, if you didn't notice, from about Starbucks to Walmart, it got cleared out, right? So that's all with the grant we got through our urban forestry division. That will turn into 100+ trees this fall, and it will really beautify that space. I'm excited for that. So trees Friday, trees Saturday. Then next Saturday, May 2nd, the Greenwood neighborhood is going to have a block party at the Greenwood Field where we're going to plant more trees, and we're going to learn more about trees. And the cool thing about this is Final Cut's donating pizza, bring your family, and there's going to be classes for the parents about trees. And then the kids are going to be entertained by our rec staff. So it'll be free childcare provided, and it'll be a great event in the Greenwood neighborhood. Also through a separate grant that we got to focus on different areas of town that have lower canopies and lower economic levels. So you're going to see that program move throughout town and plant and focus on tree education in 3 different parts over the next 3 years. Also, coming soon is a splash pad to find your park. So, the splash pad project, hopefully, we're gaining local support now, so then we can write a big grant in June. So we have to raise so much money locally to qualify for a match of 40%. So it's about a $500,000 project. So for you math majors in here, 40% of 500 is $200,000 is what we need to raise locally, and we're really, really close. We're really close, actually. So I'm excited for that project, and hopefully we'll get that big local government grant from state parks, and we'll have a new splash pad next summer, depending on the weather and the construction season. So if you want to know more about that, I'll be here, or you can ask me. And also, summer is our biggest Parks and Rec season. We have summer camps and classes and programs and swim lessons, and the pool's open all day, and it's chaos. So, super fun time of year for me. Staff is going crazy. As Merle pointed out, the rain's making the grass grow. The parks look amazing. Baseball season's in full effect at Pioneer Park, and we're rolling. So, any questions for Parks and Rec? and urban forestry and all the things. Cool. Yes, please, go ahead.
What kind of trees are they planting?
Well, the city has, usually the trees we plant are along the right of way, so along the streets, right? We plant trees in parks too, like I talked about this Friday at Riverside Park. But we have an approved tree list that's appropriate for street trees that don't grow too wide to hit trucks, and they don't grow too shallow to pull sidewalks. So we have a specific list that you can find on our website, and there's a whole robust plan. And did you know, since we're talking about trees, you can go online, you can stand at a tree, and you can go to our website, and you can find out what that tree is, what its health is, what its species is, and about how old it is. We have a full inventory of over 5,000 trees. Wow. Pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How about that? Yeah,
Yes,
pretty
I
awesome. Yeah, that's right. We're busy. Anybody else? All right, lots of stuff for kiddos. Chief Hayes, you have follow that?
No.
All right. All right, I'm here if you have questions.
I seriously cannot follow that. And so I'll keep this short. If you don't know me, and I look out in the crowd, I know a lot of you. And the thing that you'll learn about me is your chief of police. I work for John, and I'm blessed that he appointed me to be your chief of police, but it's just that. I serve you. I'm here for you and our community and my employees. You're all valuable to me. I see faces in here, Right Track Resource Center, Union County Unite, Commissioner, Sheriff, Council, Eastern representatives, I've worked with you all in one respect or another, and I hope that, I've always said, take care of your reputation will take care of you. And so I hope that whenever you communicate with me, that even though we may not agree, you still respect me as a person at the end of it. And so I look forward to being your chief and serving you. If you have questions, you can just contact me at the police department. And the last thing I'll say is this Saturday from 10 to 2, we're hosting our drug take-back program. And so if you have or know of anybody that has unused medications that they want to get rid of, they can just come by the parking lot at Safeway between those hours. And we'll have a booth set up outside, and it's free, no questions asked, to get rid of those in a safe way. Thank you.
You just trick it. My name's Kyle Carpenter. I'm the Director of Public Works. I get to be the last speaker of what I like to call the intermission period. So this is where we let John, rethink all his topics, and he's going to start Act 2 here shortly, which will be strictly John. I'm coming up mainly because I have my own slides, and my job is to talk a little bit about streets and roads. So one of the main complaints that the council gets here in the city of LeGrand is our streets and roads. And so part of this public outreach that we're doing with these town halls and also with roundtables, which John will talk about a little bit later, the next one is on the 30th at Market Fresh Foods. Al Alsberger donated us a spot to meet on the 30th to talk about roads. But it's a public outreach for kind of an educational piece to kind of introduce everybody to the problems that we're facing with our roads in LeGrand, not only because they're in poor condition, but because of the limited funding that we have to fix those problems and kind of the strategies we're employing and a little bit about the methodology of how we choose the roads that we fix. And so tonight I was going to introduce you to one of our tools that we use. This is our pavement management system. We contract with a company called Civil, which is over on the East Coast. And what they do is they use AI. So we use AI inspection. It's kind of like a Google car that we drive through town for a day a year or a couple of days a year, and we inspect all of the pavement. We started this for the first time this year. This is the result of that. It's a color-coded map that kind of shows you where the good and bad roads are throughout the city. I brought some older technology with me, a little pointer here. Up over here, that's what we call the Public Works Assistant. That's an AI dashboard. So, Carrie, if you want to click on that. So I brought up one of the old ones, and basically what it does is you can utilize it to query the information and pull up anything from a maintenance schedule to show me where the worst roads are, what are the things that I need to do. So you can basically plug in not only our local costing, but the different methods that we utilize for pavement restoration here in LeGrand, and it will actually build you a 5 or a 10-year maintenance schedule. Sounds really great. Except for the one thing we've learned through implementation of this model, and you can go ahead and click back on the assistant so it closes it down. So right up in the corner. One of the things we found is that the engineering inspection of roadways does not effectively correlate to drive performance. And what that means is if you look, say, on the north side of town here, we got a lot of green roads, really nice roads. But if you've ever driven on the north side of town, you'll realize that's a bunch of hogwash because there's a lot of potholes. There's some really bad roads up there. So one of the problems that we're finding and we're working through currently is this will deliver us a really nice looking, here's what you need to do to maintain your roads. But we're also having to put in public comments. We're also having to look at, what are the costs associated up front with those roadway projects? A lot of these streets don't have surface water management, so there's no stormwater systems in the area. And one of our main problems is we have a lot of roads where the water just piles, and that's where you get those potholes. So there's a lot of work on the front end of some of these projects. So it's a process. So as I said, this is one of our tools that we've recently picked up. So if we can go back to the slides and go to the next slides. One of the tools that John helped us kind of push forward, we've always had a list that we internally worked on in Public Works that kind of shows the different projects we're going to be working through as we go through the year. And what we've ended up with that's been kind of, it's on the webpage. We hand it out. Usually there's copies available over here, but if you leave your email address, we would be happy to send it to you. What it is it's a list called Paving It Forward. Paving the way. I like paving it forward better. What it does is it breaks up some of our projects. On the upper portion, this says budget year 26. So if you didn't know governmental budgeting, we're still in budget year 26 through June 30th. These are the projects that we had budgeted that we have slotted to get to if we get that much work done. And then future priority lists are down below. Now this list was created before we got that newest tool, so you might see some switching around, you might see different streets added, you might see some of these move down the list. But this is available on our webpage. It's also available usually at these meetings, but usually Stacy covers me on that, but apparently I did something wrong. I didn't bring it this time. So this is, if you're interested in if your street's gonna be having a project soon, this is one area where you can go. So at this point, I'll open it up to questions, any questions and answers you might have on streets or anything else, Public Works. Someone on the way back.
Yes, so I live on a street, one of multiple streets that has multiple intersections with no yields or stop signs. I was wondering if the possibility of adding yields or stops to those intersections is on the table at all as a cyclist, as a person who doesn't want to get in an accident. I'm just curious if that's ever been discussed.
Sure, you've been talking to Corinne, haven't you? Corinne is one of our council members who has pushed this pretty heavily. So basically they're uncontrolled intersections. Generally the problem that comes in with it is if you start doing one with a whole bunch of yield signs and stop signs, you've now opened it up to every intersection that's uncontrolled in the city of LeGrand. And everybody always comes to me and says, hey, what's the cost of a sign and a post? And some guys to go and put it in. So one sign and one post, you're probably looking at like $300 upfront costs until somebody hits it and we gotta go do it again. But when you start saying, okay, now there's 4 per intersection, now you're at $1,200. And now when you talk about having 80 uncontrolled intersections, we're starting to get $100,000 of where I could be paving roads and I'm putting up signs. The other piece is that those intersections are controlled with something that we call the MUTCD, which is the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control. It's a federal booklet that kind of tells us how to place our signs. In most of those uncontrolled intersections is what you'll find is that they're 2 similar volume streets with similar speed zones. And so they usually recommend no signage. A lot of the newer studies are showing that sign pollution actually angers drivers more than it helps to slow them down. So we're finding actually one of the things we're moving to is pavement markings. So we've seen more effective slowing drivers down more effectively by placing a crosswalk than we are a stop sign. It seems that they're a little bit more reacted to the fear of hitting someone rather than hitting another car. So, yes, it's been flushed through a few times. We just have never changed the policy on how we handle those uncontrolled intersections.
So could you let us know what the law actually is when we go to two streets, for example, Cedar and there's no stop sign there, so who has the right of way?
Oh, Cedar and N, when it's an uncontrolled intersection?
Cedar and Spring.
Cedar and Spring. So if I remember my driver's manual correctly, it is the first person to enter the intersection has the right of way. If you hit the intersection at the same time, the person to the right has the right of way. If you approach from opposite ends, the person who's going straight has the right of way. So it is covered. It's been about 4 or 5 years now since I've had a child who was going through driver's ed, but it is uncontrolled intersections are covered in the Oregon driver's manual and covered in every driver's ed class. So a lot of times we'll be fine not only with uncontrolled intersections, but with many of the other speeding problems that we have is driver education versus signage or, what we'll call legislative or enforcement tools. So that's just what we've seen on our end.
Hi, well, it's related to Kara's a bit. My name is Anne, and I work with the Safe Routes to School Coalition that works with you and works with sidewalks and crosswalks and other awesome things. So if anybody wants to dig deeper into these questions, there's a group that's working on it and trying to find ways to have bikeways and safer ways for pedestrians and bikes to get around town. And you can contact the City Parks and Rec, I think is that right, Stu?
Yes.
Yeah, so Chris Giandrea helps us organize, and that's all. Thank you for what you do. You guys are really responsive and want to work on it.
Yeah, well, Stu, I left you alone during your presentation.
Hi, Tammy Gordon.
How's it going?
A couple things. One of your tools on that really cool, the Google car, that is awesome. Do we have access to that, or is that just an internal? That's my first question.
Yeah, we actually rent it. So the contract with the consultant, they allow us to use the sensor. So anytime we want to do a full city scan, we call them up and they mail us the sensor array, and we mount it on a car, drive around, and send it back.
So the report, are we able to access it, or?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the sensor. No, we're gonna use that to be a public facing. So it'll be part of kind of the interactive GIS layers so when Stu mentioned the street layer with the GIS where you can walk up to the streets, that's also the platform where we'll export that shapefile, put it in there for interaction with the public. So Civil's a relatively new company. So working on that interface of how we can export their shapefile and how to be as interactive as it is in their tool is one of the things we're working on for us.
My second question, so my husband and I, I've been in Grande since 1990. And we've been in the same house since 97. And we live on S in Greenwood, and there's a lot of accidents right now. So in the past, we have requested the city to put those where the blinking lights are on the stop sign. And we've never heard anything on that. Is there a possibility, like with the group, the intersections that actually have a lot of accidents? We've seen people get hit, or kids get hit, or cars, people go on the street, people go on test, or go to spruce, or going usually pretty fast. Is there an opportunity to get more of those type of stop signs? I know they're kind of expensive.
They can be. That's actually a great connection. Greenwood is actually identified in our Safe Routes to School plan as one of the designated routes. So it qualifies it for some grant opportunities through the state, the Safe Routes to School infrastructure grants, some of the other opportunities. So those monies would be coming strictly out of the city's roads budget. So yes, there are opportunities. I know that we generally jump out. I know one of those flashing solar stop signs, I think now is around $2,500, $3,000 a pop. Generally, so, but yeah, I don't know that I saw your request come through, so it's always worthy. The other place that you can go is our parking, traffic, safe, street maintenance, PITSMAC's what I call it. It's really parking, traffic, maintenance, street, safety. So it's big. It's PITSMAC. It's on the webpage.
Okay.
But basically, that's a citizen committee that listens to those requests. They make a recommendation to staff, and then we either grant the request at that level, or if we disagree with the request, it's elevated to the city manager, who would take a look at both sides. And at that point, he would make a decision and either override staff's decision. And if both of them disagree, then the person can actually elevate it to the council. So there's a multi-layer, but the starting point is parking traffic safety committee. You can get a hold of them through the public works office. Just call the line, talk to Dana, and she'll take down the request either via email or phone call, and then it'll be introduced at the next quarterly meeting.
Yeah, we even had a stop sign.
Yeah.
And I think that Greenwood, don't they still have updates coming along from what their crosswalks and other work that used to be now?
Not on Greenwood, we just finished one down Spruce. So we did all the ramps on Spruce. It had some connectivity issues that really needed to be fixed. So that would be another one. Greenwood's a really good area because it's hasn't gotten a lot of attention in the past. So it'll probably, they do infrastructure grants every 2 years. So we'll look at another one probably next year where we can include stuff like that. Yeah. All right, I think that's all my questions, John. They're ready for Act 2. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw something in here. I'm gonna throw something in here that he wasn't planning on me throwing in here, which is one of the things that our community doesn't fully recognize or realize, and I didn't even in coming into the seat, is just actually how service-oriented our public works is. And I'll use as an example, since I've come into the community, in my home, we've had two, what I would call, I'm gonna say flood events because it sounds more alarmist, 2 flood events in our house. In those events, on the second event that occurred, actually both events, I have to say, I ended up reaching out to the team. On the second time, I reached out to the team, was asking them for some, actually just for some advice on the plumber that I needed to talk to in regards to it. Literally 15 minutes after I initiated that conversation, one of your city employees, Jared Huff, was standing outside my door and was starting to help. And I was like, hey, I started to freak out a little bit. Like, I was not trying to abuse my position in the organization and make this happen. I'm sorry. Like, that's not, and they started interrupting me like, shut up. That's not what happened here. The long story short is they offer that service for everybody. So the bottom line is, what I'm trying to share is that it's not widely known enough just how accessible our public works is and how much they are. I would actually encourage you, if you have a problem that even remotely feels like it's public works related to you, be willing to reach out and give them the opportunity, because I already had like a $400 bill en route to my house to take care of my problem, and they showed up outside the door and solved it like within 15 minutes. And my flood receded, and my wallet stayed a little heavier. And so bottom line is, they're a great team. They all truly want to serve the community. People just don't necessarily know that they're actually that available and that willing to help. I can't promise you're always going to get 10 or 15 minutes, but in this situation, my house is located not far from the ballpark. And he happened to be over at the ballpark, and they had just taken a between games, and so coincidentally, it just worked out. I feel like God was like timing it so he could come over and solve my problem. And so, bottom line is, great team, great people, and the more you interact with them, the more you're going to see that they're actually there to serve you. Next slide, please. All right, and one more. So now I'm going to probably bore you to tears, hopefully not, but I want to share with you guys the reality of where we're at as a city, and give you a little bit of insight in the work we're doing to try and address the problems that we have. I've said this in all this now being the third town hall that we're doing, and I'll continue to say it, which is I really feel like I inherited an amazing community. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to invite several of the other city managers from this region over down to meet with me, and we got together and we started sharing our realities with us. And I learned in that conversation that is like I felt like we have challenges and problems. I learned in that conversation that every single one of them wished they had our problems. All of the other cities in the area are struggling significantly more than we are. That being said, that doesn't mean our struggle isn't real, right? What I'm sharing with you now is just kind of a quick picture into several things. One of those things is the organization that I inherited did a great job of building I'm going to refer to it as savings. Building savings over time that gave us the ability to have a nice nest egg. In fiscal year 24, that nest egg had grown to approximately $10.2 million. And right just a little bit before I had gotten here, we were somewhere in the vicinity of about $11.4 million. And when I say that, it's rough statements, but I'm saying that that's basically what we had in our savings, which basically meant fiscally, there's arguably, if we found ourselves in a bad way, we had money to be able to cover costs. Because of the way Oregon requires us to budget, we were in a position we have to forecast a very specific way, both in how we gain revenue and how we have expenses. Simultaneously, that's the science behind that isn't always obvious when you're looking at it in a general meeting or in a document. Like you have to understand the flow of things to know exactly what the real reality of threat is. What I can tell you is the cost of doing business is significantly, and I don't mean just a little, like this last year, since I took off, I feel like it was a perfect bad storm for me. From the time that I took over the office, that the perfect bad storm has occurred. And not only was our pace already outpacing our expenses, outpacing our revenue, this last year, as I'm sure all of you have experienced in your home, the cost has gone through the roof. And one of the things that the council has very intelligently done over the last few years, because of that science, as they have elected to be able to say, if we ever fully realize our expenses, rather than cut services and diminish what we're providing to our community, instead of doing that just to balance the books, if we ever actually realize those full expenses, then they made the decision that they were going to pull funds from that savings account to cover costs. Up until this last year, that methodology worked wonderfully. It worked very well, and we never had to actually realize, because of either, we never are at 100% in regards to employment. That would be one big one, let alone any number of things like getting grants and so on and so forth. But that kept us from ever having to tap into that savings. That's not true anymore. This past year, we went from having 11.4 million approximately in savings to now currently 7.9 million. That's in a year's time frame, what you saw happen. Simultaneously, when we're looking at our forecasts right now, looking forward, when we get to fiscal year 27, you can see it's going to drop substantially. It's going to be, I actually looked at the forecast numbers just today. I haven't even had a chance to share it with the council yet. The circumstances is much worse than we ever dreamed possible. Simultaneously, when I came into the position, the council made very clear the desire to make sure that we're doing the right thing when it comes to how we're handling our funds. Doing the best, they wanted us to do the best we can to make sure that we were keeping the community informed, having full knowledge and awareness and a sense of trust with the city, so that they wouldn't all of a sudden, if we actually found ourselves in a bad place, be surprised to find about it all at once. So that kind of goes to the video that we showed you earlier, and the many more. If you're on our social media, if you're following our social media, which I want to say, that social media site is my site. That's John O'Brien's site. It says the Grande City Hall, but it's my site. It's my profile. I'm utilizing it to communicate and help us communicate as a city. But hands down, anything that's on there is from me. And I'm utilizing it to help the city, but it is my site. And it's important that everybody knows that. That being said, the social media that we're pushing out on there is meant to make sure that the community gets the chance to get to know us, to get to understand how we're here to serve, because all too often when we find ourselves in a place of pain, it's easy to say what we should cut when they don't understand necessarily fully what the service is that they're getting and or what they're gonna cut. And then after we cut it, everybody gets mad because they now realize the service that they want. And so our desire and intent through all the social media stuff that you're seeing isn't because John O'Brien has a great love for social media and wants to make sure that I'm getting out there and I want the community, I do want the community to like us, but I'm not doing it for those purposes. I'm doing it to give us maximum opportunity. We're doing these town halls. We're doing a whole bunch of other things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's all meant to make sure that everybody has maximum opportunity to know and be aware, as well as to know and be aware of what we're doing. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So, this is earlier I mentioned if you give me your email, I'd be willing to share with you. Currently, the council has our draft version of what I'm hoping to be a 5 to 6 year strategic plan that we're calling the Fiscal Transformation Initiative. This is an effort that all of our staff members came together after painfully getting me up to speed on what our reality was and what they knew, the council's input and community input that I was able to receive, came together to build this strategic plan. And this strategic plan, this draft form of it now, and when finally approved, in whatever state that is fully available to you. I'll share it with you if you want to look at it, read it. We have 3 different versions. In those 3 different versions, one is a lengthier one that's about 17, 18 pages. It's got more detail to it. And then there's 2 slightly shorter versions. The first 2 are very city speak. The third one that I'm calling public facing is meant to be easier for people to digest. But what I will tell you is that across all 3 of them, the same story is being told. But we're making sure that I can meet people where they want me to meet them and speaking to them the way that they want us to speak to them so that they can have maximum opportunity to know and understand the reality of our problem as well as the reality of what we're doing to try and fix it. So that if we ever reach a point in time where, let me say, this is a tiered approach. I call it PACE E. In the tiered approach, in that plan is an effort. I'm sorry, if you can I use your
top button.
Thank you. In the plan, you see the PAC. Within that, they're all married up to not precisely up to years, but they're married up to phases. Some of it will coincidentally line up with a year, but it also depends on where we're at financially at the time that we're doing it. And I'll talk about that more in a second too. In the best case scenario, the implementation of the plan that's being proposed and considered at the moment, and pending any input that you might provide back to us for me to share with the council, is for us to solve our revenue generating problems within that primary, alternate, or contingent perspective. And there's very deliberate things that we're going to be doing in each of those different stages to help change the revenue reality. Now, you've probably heard a little bit about us talking about gas tax and the potentiality of that coming in. That is an issue that is within this but we couldn't get around the problem, and I can talk about that more if you want to tonight, or we can talk about it more tonight if you want. But separate from the gas tax topic, our plan and our team, the city, as employees, have come together to form a plan that gives us maximum opportunity to try and change the revenue reality within PAC without any new taxes or significant increase in costs to the community in order to be able to change the revenue generating engine that we need to change. What I can tell you is when we first built the last time that the economic development plan was written and or put into effect, don't quote me, but I think it's in 2010. After that, because of where we were at fiscally at that time, the city ended up funding a single FTE to be able to be the primary driver behind FTE, meaning an employee, as well as the city manager, to get after dealing with that fiscal reality economic development effort. Simultaneously, we already had in effect a program that many of you may have heard about called Urban Renewal. That Urban Renewal program, 75% of the position that works on the economic development is funded through urban renewal dollars. 25% of the position is funded through general fund dollars. I tell you that because urban renewal, part of this plan includes us sunsetting urban renewal. And the intent for us, current approximate intent, target is to sunset it on or around somewhere around 2032. One of the other reasons I was sharing that with you is because we did the best we could with the resources we had to solve the revenue generating realities that we needed to solve within everything that I just explained to you before I ever arrived here and inherited what we've now inherited. The desire, as I said before, is to solve the problem within PAC. If we don't solve the problem there, then on or about in the current plan form is the intent for us to then be able to show you throughout that time frame what we've done and how we've tried to solve the problem, and give you confidence that we're doing the best that we can to make sure that this doesn't become more costly for you. But if we don't do it, then we have two options remaining. What I'm calling engagement, and finally what I'm calling emergency. Engagement means that's where we've communicated and showed you everything we're doing to solve the problem. We've done that over time. The goal will be to never, ever, ever get to the first E. But if we have to, we want you to be able to say with confidence, the situation sucks, but thank you for trying as hard as you did. And let's have a conversation about how, as a community, you can help us solve the problem. And that's going to be most likely some level of increase in tax to you or to the community in some way or another. My preferred thought process in regards to that is if we get to that point, is that we would establish what we call a special district, and it would be either a public safety special district or a library special district or a parks and rec special district. But one way or another, the intent by doing that is to give us the relief that we need to be able to make sure that you can keep and or get better services than what you're currently getting. The E is the problem. If we get to the emergency state, then that means the only way we solve the problem is to take away the services you're already getting or reduce them in some way or another. In some cases, may be a full-on removal of something. Our goal, our desire, I think the community, I've heard from the community, I've heard from the council, and I've heard from our staff. The desire is not to get rid of anything that we're doing. It's only to strengthen it, make it better, and provide greater service to you going forward. But we're already struggling to make it happen with the resources we have. If we can't fix it, and we don't reach a point in time where the community feels comfortable with contributing with, additional funds, if we get there, then the only thing we have left remaining is to cut services. What I can tell you is I'm okay with living with that reality. I'm okay with cutting those services if that's the decision that the community makes. Because at this first E, that's where you get to make a last-ditch effort decision as to whether or not you want those services to diminish, or you want those services to maintain, or you want them to improve. Our desire is to give you the service that you want, the service that you need. And our desire is to make sure we're communicating effectively and transparently and honestly about what it takes to do what we're doing, why it costs what it does, and there's tools we're going to use that I'll talk about here in a second in regards to that. I'll pause for just a second on this slide in case anybody has any questions about this specifically. Can you go to the next slide? All right, back up one more. Over here on the right-hand side, I said what we're doing right now. One is that strategic plan that we've authored and we put out on the street. The council's considering it. I'm going to have probably one more opportunity to provide refinements to them on that plan. The intent is for us to marry that plan up with the approval of the budget so that we can begin executing the plan starting no later than July 1st. Our fiscal year is July 1 to June 30. So the intent is to start executing the plan then. That's one of the things that we're doing. As we've gone into this budget planning season, preparing for the next year, the thing that the staff has agreed that is important and that we feel is important, and I think, I'm speaking a little bit ahead of the council, but I think that they feel as well, is we have to protect the plan. Once we implement the plan, we have to protect it. And we have to do everything we can to give it the maximum life that we can give it. Meaning, the plan is intended to be a 5 to 6 year plan. And so we need to make sure that we have maximum opportunity. Go back one slide again. When I say protect it, we don't want to end up where it's right now trending that we're going to end up. I put up here $6 million. When we have a budget, in order to stay legal and not get sideways with Oregon, we have to have approximately $2 million sitting in that savings account. We can't have less than that because we're not going to get any funds after we go into the next budget year. We're not going to get any funds to cover our costs until sometime in the fall. So we have to have at least $2 million in there at all times to make sure that we're covering our costs. When I say protect the plan, and I'm talking about $6 million, we've built into, you can go to the next slide, we've built into the plan thresholds that say when we cross certain levels, then that means we have to start expediting the pace in which, no pun intended, the pace in which we're executing that plan. So where our desire is to give it the full 5 or 6 years to solve the problem, in the best case scenario, solve the problem sooner. In the worst case scenario, if we have to escalate to tier engagement or emergency, we don't want to do it any sooner than we absolutely have to give the plan the opportunity to yield the fruit that we're looking for it to yield. But if we don't, if we do it, if we reach a point in time, we have built into the plan these thresholds that say, now it's time for us to come together again and decide, do we hold or do we now start moving faster through the plan? And that's all written in the plan. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So civic engagement. This event is a civic engagement event. I'm also doing, or you guys have probably seen, we're doing community roundtables that are topic specific. The big one that we've had on our recurring conversation point has been the streets and roads one, and especially because most of the things we talk about in those conversations connect back to the gas tax that the council has decided will in fact be on the ballot in November. But it's our responsibility to make sure that everybody's educated and understand and know why, and understand and know what the advantages of it is versus other tools that are out there. But it's our responsibility to make sure that we've done the best that we can, that the community is informed, and when they get to the polls and make the vote, that they can make in the best case scenario, an educated decision. What we know is when it comes to streets and roads is that the problem's gonna get worse if we don't do something to fix it. And I think most people would agree that the problem's already bad. So that's an example of some of this community civic engagement. We're trying to, by design, do a new topic every month at different locations, covering things that the community is interested in hearing. In June, we're going to do a community roundtable that's focused just on budget. So we can come in and show you everything that's behind the curtain, so you can be aware and speak to you and explain it to you as best as we can in as simplistic of terms as we can, so that the community can feel like they're actually being able to see, read, and hear the reality of the community. And we do that through civic engagement. We're doing stuff over Facebook, social media. Again, not because I have a great love for all things social media. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people use social media as a place to just throw mud and not have to be held accountable for stuff. I don't like that that's a truth. But I also know there's 60 plus people in the room right now. Probably, if I go by the numbers that we had last time, we had somewhere around the same number online. By the time the views were done, we were up to a couple of hundred. But we have over 13,000 people that live in the community. So what we need is to meet people where they are. And the only way we're going to do that is go to the places they're willing to go. And digital media is a place we have to go in order to make sure that the message is getting out there, and at least people have the opportunity to be informed, whether or not they choose to be, or even to agree with the information. I can't do a lot about that, but our intent is to build trust, to let people know that what we're doing is not manipulative. It's just simply intended to communicate truth and give everybody an opportunity to make decisions. That's the purpose between all of us. So my request would be, follow us, encourage others to follow us, be willing to engage me. I think some of my staff would tell you that my calendar is constantly full. It's full because if you reach out to me and ask to talk, I'm going to encourage us to not just talk on the phone. I'm going to encourage us to meet in person. And I'll go where you want me to go. If you ask me to come to your neighborhood, or you ask Kyle and I to come to your neighborhood, or Jason and I to come to your neighborhood, all right. If we can get the firemen out of bed, we can bring the firemen out too. Just kidding. Please don't take that forward. The bottom line, when it comes down to it, where you invite us for the topic you want to talk about, we will come to you and we will talk about it in the location you want to. Those I call ad hoc town halls. I'll talk to the audience, and if there's only one person that's there, there's only one person that's there. Just be willing to ask us and invite us. That's one of the reasons why we're asking for you to give us your email address as well. And I'll send out occasionally, I won't inundate your email, but I will send out occasional updates of things that are going on, and invitations or solicitation for nominations for awards, and or making you aware of any key events that are going on. The intent behind all of that is for you to get to know not just me, but to get to know our city, to get to know the employees in the city, because every one of them are a member of the community as well. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So if you want a copy of the, I'm actually almost on time. If you guys want a copy of the Fiscal Transformation Initiative Strategic Plan, if you're willing to, send me an email or leave your email and I'll send a copy to you. I'll send all 3 copies to you, or I'll send the copy that you want. When it's all said and done and whatever is finally approved, once it's done, then we'll post those online and people will be able to go and download them as well. But one way or another, nothing that we have are you not going to be able to have access to. I already talked kind of ad nauseum about civic engagement. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm going to try and, I apologize. Very nice to do. I forgot this was in here. CSRI. So we've developed a tool. We're in the process of development. I mentioned it at the last two town halls as well of what we were doing. The first time was a concept. Second time was a small picture of what it looked like. And then now I'm giving you a little bit of an update of where we're at with it. The bottom line is this is a new tool that we're creating that's going to show metrics in a very simplistic way in all the different services that the city's has to provide to the community. The first development of it, as we're putting it out together, is based off of what we know and understand is the metrics that the community is going to be most interested in when we put that. Further future state of this is going to intend for us to enter into community dialogue to talk about those metrics and let the community help shape what those metrics should further look like if they're not in agreement of how they currently look like. But for right now, we're just simply trying to create the opportunity to begin the conversation, share that with you, and then give you the opportunity to tell us what you prefer to see so that we can communicate. And the intent is to take very complex topics and make them more simplistic to understand and easier for you to digest, and therefore further enable our conversations and make them more effective. We've been working on this pretty diligently. The problem is this takes a lot of granular detail in the midst of detailed work, in the midst of everything else that we're still trying to do. So this is surge effort on top of all the other things that we're supposed to be doing. And I'm trying not to get shot by any of my staff any sooner than I absolutely need to be in order to get this implemented as fast as I think the community would like it, but at the same time at the speed that still gives us the value that we need to provide. And that's something that we're going to continue to share with you further as we move forward. I think the community needs it because it's going to help you understand those complexities more easily. Go ahead and go to the next. So, showed this up at the beginning, the Grande Connect app. This is going to be in its best functioning. We just brought it out online. We've just implemented it. There's going to be kinks. There's going to be problems in its implementation. But the intent for it is, I'll use streets and roads, and I'm going to, again, I apologize. I'll use streets and roads and public works as an example. With this app, you can go to a location and see an issue, whether it's streets and roads or it's any number.
Streetlights.
Streetlights. That's actually a good one. Just came up yesterday. Streetlights. If you know that streetlights are out, you can contact OTEC to get them to come out and do it. But we have a relationship with them that's, in theory, should expedite the effort a little bit faster. So you go out, you find a streetlight out, report it to us. We'll make sure the right people get it, and then they'll come out and get it repaired. And if it's not happening in a reasonable amount of time, share that with me, because that helps me be informed, because I may not be aware, or we may not be aware of the problems. The bottom line is through this tool, you can connect directly to the organization responsible for that particular service, and they will help, or we will help, make sure that we're bringing it to a positive conclusion. Best as possible. And in the worst case scenario, at least explain to you the why of why it's not the solution you might want.
John?
Yes.
Does that also include if someplace needs a light, but doesn't have one?
Yes. I don't want you to take that like I'm saying that you're going to get one, but what I will say is absolutely share it with us. The pit smack might be an area that we mentioned earlier where you can go and talk about that as well. But in a worst case scenario, you just download the app, send us the information, we'll get back to you and let you know what we're doing with it and what the likely outcome. And I want to be clear. I don't want everybody to think that this means they're going to get what they want. What I can tell you is it's a way to communicate, to make sure that you're heard, and we will give you a reason for what we're doing, whether that's what you wanted or not what you wanted. But we will give you an answer. All right, actually, we're further. Do we still have those other two?
We have, the Blue Mountain Humane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's skip over this one. We'll go, I feel like I'm everybody's time now. Blue Mountain, are you in the house? Okay, so, Blue Mountain Humane Association, great organization. If you don't know much about them, would actually ask you to look them up online, look them up on Facebook. And they're also doing some stuff to raise some funds. They're having, like everybody, difficulties finding the funds to do the things that they need to do, just to minimally do the things that they need to do. This is one of their events that they're doing. It should be fun. Please check it out.
It's another event that they're doing.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't read this one out. Oh, the paw party. I feel like I'm failing you. I apologize. I'm not informed on the event. Bottom line, Humane Association, we would like to see them being supported because at some, if you're not aware or not, the city does and the county contributes funds to keep that organization alive. But even with the contributions that are given from us, it's not enough to do adequately enough what needs to be done. And so any opportunities that you might be able to find to be able to support them, I would encourage it. Cat Utopia, separate organization from the Humane Association. They do partner occasionally together. I think you know a lot about, is anybody here from Cat Utopia? Oh, go ahead.
What would you like to know?
I'll bring the microphone to you.
It's okay. My children tell me that voice carries, so I probably don't need that. Can y'all hear me?
No, people online.
Oh, okay, okay. So my name's Beverly. This is my rescue partner, Rebecca Lord. We are from Cat Utopia, Union County. Cat Utopia has been around about 30 years, mostly based in Umatilla County. Our mission is to reduce cat overpopulation. So we are a nonprofit. We work on donations only. We are all feel like full-time volunteers, basically. I'm retired. She still has to work full-time and volunteer full-time. So we have, just wanted to tell you quickly, we have 2 or 3 programs for people in Union County. The first being low-cost spay-neuter trips. Once a month for low-income people, or people who just can't afford to get their cats fixed. We load up our 2 vehicles at 5 o'clock in the morning once a month with 15 to 20 cats and carriers. They have to be pets. We drive them to Nampa, Idaho. We get them fixed. We bring them back same day. That's 15 to 20 cats who probably would not have been fixed locally and would be reproducing. We also have a TNR account, which the city has matched. We offer $30 for every feral cat we trap to be fixed. We help offset the cost of that. And the city now has given us some matching dollars at Animal Health Center so that the trapping people who are feeding these feral colonies will only have to pay $10 a cat. This will help reduce the population. We also make feral cat houses. You can find them at PetSense in town. We are all foster-based. We do not have a facility. So that's where our donation bin is located. In case you want to drop a little food or litter in there, because we're always in need. And like I said, we're all volunteers and we are foster home based. In fact, we both foster as well as a lot of people in this community. And if you want a kitten fix, it's a lot of fun because you won't have them forever. You'll have them for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe a month or 2. And it's kind of a blast, especially if you have kids and dogs that are good with cats, because we love our kitties to be exposed to dogs and kids. We also need help with trapping, TNR, transport drivers, lots of ways you can volunteer to help. So, and Kyle, Just to mention, we still have your 4 kitties from the city shops.
I had no idea.
Rebecca has 2.
Actually, looking out on this group, there's several people here that we've helped you guys with cats.
I didn't know you had 4 cats.
And we did end up with some kittens from Public Works in November. We still have them. They're spicy.
They're coming along.
They got to get to a point where we can get them adopted out or send them to a bigger shelter to be adopted. But I'm looking around through this group, and there's Alex in the back, and I worked with you and Maggie, and there's a lot of people here that we're not very well known, but there's a bunch of people here that we know we have taken cats from or helped you with feral cat problems. So we're looking for foster homes. That's the biggest thing we need right now. Is just places for the kittens to go. We fix the adults, put them back where we found them. They have short little lives, but they don't reproduce. And then the kittens, we get them socialized and move them on to other homes or other rescues. So, people who want to foster, we got you covered. We can do it.
Yep. You bet. All right.
We can go to the next one. So I promise you, we're getting really close to the end. Just recently, I came into this information. Maybe some of you have known about it for some time, but we're actually, as a city, we're getting ready to start partnering with Easter Seals, and they have a program that makes it so there's a certain category that exists that has to be met, but bottom line is they provide up to a maximum of 4 years. There's some nuances to that, but up to a maximum of 4 years, funds to cover part-time employment of a position for people that are 55 and older. And again, they have to be in a certain economic status. But bottom line is this is a great opportunity for people who are interested that are 55 and older that are wanting to engage back into the workforce. And be able to provide services within wherever you're at, but really what I'm looking at is within the community. But they're very proactive right now and looking for organization sponsors to actually have people and you can even actually, like if you know somebody who fits the criteria, you can handpick them and say, hey, let's talk to these people, we'll get you a job. And no money comes out of your pocket. All you have to do is just supply them a place to work and occasionally give a report of, yep, they're working and they're working part-time and they're making money and Easter Seals are paying for it. So I'd highly encourage you to reach out. Contact information is written up here. Feel free to take a picture of it and or reach out to us and we'll make sure you get it. The city's planning on taking advantage of this. Go ahead and go to the next slide.
Did you say they work part-time or?
Yeah, I think don't quote me, but I think the maximum is 29 hours a week is what Easter Seals will pay. They might even require you to limit. I don't know if you can let them pay the first 29 hours and then you pay for the other 11-ish. I think they have to be part-time employees. Ultimately, the intent, if I'm understanding correctly, is to create an opportunity for them to eventually, hopefully, become a permanent employee with some organizations. But that's not a requirement that you have to do it if you participate with it. So that brings us to the end. There was some other, would you go back to that slide that had the different events that were on? Okay, so here, just some stuff that's coming up. I want to make you aware on the 30th of April, we will be at Market Fresh. I think they're getting ready to open something new in the future there. I apologize if I'm getting ahead of you. So great opportunity to maybe start to get a feel for what may be happening. But more than anything, it's an opportunity for us to get together and talk further and more about streets and roads at that location. Thank you, Al, for giving that to us. That opportunity. And then on the 14th of May, I'm sorry, the hours for that is going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. And then on the 14th of May, same topic, that we'll be going to
press room.
The press room. They've agreed to keep their doors open a little bit later for us so we can come in there. Those are just what's planned right now. We also have, we're intending to do a next generation roundtable at Riverside Park. We've moved it, if you're tracking it as being the 7th of May, that's been canceled. It's now going to be moved to later in May. Intent is for us to still do it at Riverside Park, but that's an opportunity for us to get together with people who have thoughts and or feelings about the future of LeGrande and the young people that we're losing because they don't want to stay here. And we want to ask them to help us form what we need, a better idea of what we need to do to get after to help make LeGrande a place they want to be in the future. And so that event will happen sometime in May. Again, if you're willing to feed me a topic of interest, we'll set up an event and make it happen. And bring the community together to talk about it. It's not intended to communicate that we're guaranteeing solutions from the conversations, but if there are solutions, it starts with conversation. And we would like to make sure we're talking about the things you want to talk about. I do believe in June, we're planning on doing that when I talk about having to do with budget. And then there's one in August that we're planning for, what are we calling it?
Public safety.
Public safety one in August as well. So in July, when we have our next, go ahead and go to the last slide again. Oh, I'm sorry, and then on May 9th, Saturday, May 9th, at Riverside Park, if you guys, I don't know if you know her now, but Dr. Davenport, Ruth Davenport, she reached out to the city and asked us to partner with her in regards to the effort to raise ADA awareness within the community. And so we're working with her to coordinate an event at Riverside Park. The intent is for it to be a potluck and for people to bring out food and be able to enjoy, have some eats from, I believe, 2 or 6.
2 to 7.
From 2 to 7 p.m. And have some food and have some conversation and talk ADA awareness.
So, John?
Yes.
Can we have a bus to go out?
Can they have a what?
The bus to take people out?
I don't know if we can coordinate that or not, but I'm.
Stu, you got a bus?
Oh. Yeah, no, your point is well made. I'll absolutely check in. That's great. Yes.
Sorry, I was going to hear you a little better. We've been speaking a lot about community connections and making sure that we keep unifying all the parts and pieces of our community. We have some amazing pieces here. I've worked with a lot of them. You guys might not all know my faces, but I know a lot of your faces. I was born and raised here. What I was wondering is if somebody, like, my coalition is the Eastern Oregon LGBT Coalition. If there is a community event going on that involves a lot of these different pieces, like we have Shelter from the Storm, CHD, a lot of our main sources coming together, what's the best way to bring that to you guys and go, hey, this is happening, and see about what can be done together there?
Wonderful question, thank you. So first and foremost, I apologize that they weren't able to be here tonight, but the chamber has an events page that they will list. You can actually go in and fill it in on your own. They have it set up so you can go and populate the information and list it on their site. So that's one way to make known. There's also, we've partnered with several local organizations to help us publish information out into the community. And so I'm happy to share that information with you guys as well if you reach out to us as to who you want to work with. Simultaneously, as far as if you're looking for the city to partner with you in regards to it, I would say that starts with a conversation with either one of our staff leads or me. And then we will talk about what we can do to partner with you and or support you. And of course, there'll be some limitations as to what we can or can't do, but it starts with the conversation. And so I know it's probably a little ambiguous, but what I can say is if you talk to us, we'll take seriously the fact you're wanting to talk to us. And we will do what we can to support. Does that answer well enough?
I think that is amazing.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I'm just kind of curious in your work with like losing budget money and whatnot. Have you guys connected with other departments, county, like the school board, the county, EOU, like, they're all losing support and funding, and so I know that there's lots of really amazing people in the community, but I don't know if the bridges are, like, it feels like maybe they're not always there. So I don't know if I was here late, but I don't know if I missed anything like that, but I see commissioners here, I saw the sheriff. You know, I'm just kind of curious if that's all or.
No, I appreciate that. And, you know, actually, you just you saying what you're saying is kind of stirring a thought in my head and my staff right now. I'm gonna be like, uh-oh, we're coming to the good. What I can say is the sheriff's office and the county commissioners have been amazing for us to interface with. And we absolutely dialogue regularly. I'm going to throw the school into that too, sitting in the back is representation from the school. We all dialogue regularly together and seek opportunities for us to partner. But it's conceptually, we can all sit around and talk pretty well about the things we would like to work together on. But it's not very easy to make all of that come together sometimes. But what I can tell you is we are actively seeking more and more opportunities. The council may not be aware of this yet, but on, I think, EOU, what's the dates we're playing?
June 7th.
I think tentatively right now we're targeting June 6th to do a work session with EOU about exactly the question you're asking, which is how do we partner better together in order to be better partners together, not just for the moment of that conversation, but for going forward. So in fact, the fact that we're all here right now, I apologize for not starting out with a thank you, is a truth to the partnership that we're trying to do. I think they're paying the higher tax. We're getting a lot more out of them than they're getting out of us. But they made this room available to us at no cost to the city so that we could host this event, both the last one, and our general intent is to do this for the future until they decide that we're annoying them. Any other questions? Yes.
I have a big question, but just for a brief overview. Can you give a brief update on the state of housing in Grande regarding houselessness, affordable housing, and the missing middle?
That's a great question.
I know it's a big question.
So what I can tell you is, like, some of the things that I'd probably tell you about it right now wouldn't cover all of those areas as effectively as you would like. I do know that there's a very proactive, lower income cost houses that are being done. They're smaller homes. I can't speak to that as smart as Mike's not here with us. So do you feel like you could talk about that?
I could try.
So let me give what the other things that I know. So he's going to catch what's meant to be the lower income range of what we know right now. But I don't want you to get the impression that that's where we end with that conversation. That's just what we have right now. What I can also tell you is we do have a development that's beginning right now up on Ridge. That's going to go in up there, and we have another developer that's very eager to get started. What's the area of town that Cho is?
Oh, East L.
East L, over in that area where they're looking to develop as well. And those are all meant to be probably medium priced homes. And so we have, in what I'm sharing with you right now, there's a development for higher end, there's a development for medium, and there's definitely some development for lower. Kyle will take a stab at, but if you really want to get into the intricacies of it, we'd have to reach out to my planner. Go ahead.
All right. I guess I don't know exactly where I'm swinging on this one, but I'll give it a shot. So as John mentioned, we do have a couple of developments that are going. Those are mostly privately funded. So what you're going to see is the city really has no control over what kind of development it is, medium, high, low income kind of a deal. Most of the housing that I think when you're looking at the low to medium income are going to probably be coming from state funding. So there's a lot of programs that have been run through the state. One of them last year was through R3, which was an organization that was put together by the state that went around and was offering infrastructure money. So one of the problems you find with developers who are wanting to build housing in the state of Oregon is they have to put in the infrastructure, which is your water, sewer, streets, storm sewer, curbs, sidewalks. Those are all requirements of the city to build a development. But the upfront cost of that infrastructure generally doesn't make those projects pencil out in the end. You can't sell the land for the amount it's going to take you to develop it. So we've been working with some of those state programs. The state legislature has been pretty much locked in on ODOT funding for the last 18 months. So a lot of those programs have kind of fell to the wayside, looking for people who want to apply for them. So there isn't a lot of low-income entry-level housing on the market in LaGrange right now. There's a few options. I know there's a development over off of 27th that was taking place outside of Stonewood. That's kind of an entry-level model where the developer actually owns the property but sells you the modular home, you rent space. For an old schooler like me, not ideal. I don't like that model myself, but if you're looking for a home in the $150,000, $175,000 range to get into home ownership, it is one of the models that's available here in LaGrange. Other than that, there's another development put in by True Construction over off of 16th Street that is offering what is now entry-level housing. I think it's right under 300,000, which is just amazing to me. But those are really the only developments. We haven't seen anything from like community. He'll talk Tiger Homes. Oh, Scott wants to talk about his upcoming adventures.
I was voluntold. I didn't have a choice.
Okay, you got the floor.
Well, I just appreciate the partnership with John and Kyle. They've taken care of us at Tiger Homes. So very much appreciate the partnership and the way that we can support each other. Back to your question. So June 3rd, we have an open house for our second townhouse structure. It's two units. The first unit was sold to the hospital for visiting nurses and doctors and has been inhabited since it was sold last August. June 3rd, we'll be done with that. We invite everyone to come and see. It's beautiful. We've improved it. We flipped the model. The first year we were learning a lot. We're over budget. This year we're going to be under budget, be able to really break even across the three-year project that we've done. If you notice, kitty corner to that lot, we've scraped the ground and we have 8 lots that we're dividing with the city and moving through that process. We're building 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes that will improve that neighborhood in terms of proximity to school and provide medium income housing to our community and folks near Central and the high school. So we're excited about that. I'll say to our neighbors, we're grateful for your patience and beg you 8 more years of that patience as students learn how to build homes. In the first year, students did about 20% of the work. This year, they're doing about 80% of the work because we learn fast, believe it or not, in schools. And we're excited to get into just standard home models and working with so many good community partners across our community. If you didn't know, Miller's is giving us material at just above cost. I could go on about 70 different vendors in our town that really make that fly for kids. And it's fun watching, yesterday they were pouring, before the rain, they were pouring concrete and Chalice was out there and kids were working alongside professionals and getting tidbits and overheard one senior. The guy was like, "You're working for me this summer and you need to know this, so get down here and let's do it." That's what we want out of our high school CTE program, and just appreciate more than anything the partnership with the city and all of our community to make hands-on learning a priority at the high school.
Another sort of shameless plug, George Mendoza, the superintendent, will be down at the council meeting at the next one, May 6th, to talk a little bit more about that with the council. So, any other questions? I'm sorry, did you feel like that was adequate?
It addressed the missing middle for homeownership. It doesn't really address low-income people experiencing their children housing.
I would love to shelter out houselessness.
As in you right now, or as in, oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what the city.
Hi.
I'm Maggie Mayhem. I'm the manager of Right Track Resource Center, formerly Union County Warming Station. We operate the winter seasonal warming station. We've expanded to also offering resource center services and where people can come in during the day, throughout the week, and we can offer direct services. They can access showers, they can do their laundry, we have a food bank. They can come and hang out and listen to cool jazz and stuff like that. But we also work with a bunch of community partners in the city and the county, and just individuals in the community. And I'm like disassociating right now, but there are a lot of people that have volunteered. I started out as a volunteer. I've worked with a lot of almost all of you, which is really overwhelming and wonderful and makes me feel really good. But we're seeing an increase in houselessness. So we're seeing rent prices go up. We served over 140 unique individuals just over our winter season. And we're going to continue our work in providing direct services so people can come to us. We can try to connect them with other organizations that can help people that are low income or that are houseless achieve housing. So we have been successful. We have helped about 30 individuals from the start of the warming station season, which was March 15th, to the end, which was, November 15th to March 15th. And about 30 individuals into housing, some sort of stable housing, whether it was sober living or long-term treatment, or they're in their own apartment through maybe help with HUD, or they've stabilized employment and now been able to afford rent and stuff like that. But that's like a touch on houselessness, and I did want to plug Right Track Resource Center, and we need volunteers.
I feel like Maggie needs to be actually up here as one of our recognition people in the community. Things that you do are pretty amazing. So thank you. Yes.
So I just thought it would be maybe a perfect time to introduce myself because we have not met. I'm actually Lori McNeil, and I'm the new Operations and Programs Director for the Union County Chamber. So the Chamber is here tonight, and I just wanted to not only introduce, because I am hearing all around the room that this is a great opportunity for us to come together as a community and share what's going on, and not only what the needs are, but how we can work together. And I have been at the Chamber for a very short amount of time. But one of the things that I just recently implemented was the different announcements. How many of you by chance seen any of my videos on Facebook? Okay, so quite a few of you have. Okay, I've just barely started that initiative. In the first 36 hours of the first 4 videos that I've put out with community announcements, they've gotten anywhere from 2,500 to 6,000 views. So I wanted you guys to understand that I am working hard to help you get the word out about your organizations, your events, your fundraisers, your collaborations, different things like that. If you email me info@visitunioncounty.org by 4 o'clock every Friday, then I will include your announcement in my Monday morning video. So keep that in mind because there's a lot of things going on around the community. And I can't possibly know about everything unless someone emails me or tells me what's going on. So Friday, 4 o'clock is the deadline for you to be included in those live videos that I'm doing every Monday morning from the Chamber office. And then there's going to be additional initiatives coming out as well. But that's just a place where I kind of started for right now, utilizing social media and a chance to get the word out quickly. So again, right now, we're getting about 25 to 6,000 views in the first 36 hours. So it's a great opportunity for you guys to get the word out among other sectors of the community that maybe you're not able to hit. So let's partner and work together and let the Union County Chamber best support you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Question online, John. It says, any updates on additional supports for recovery and treatment services?
Did they leave a name?
Nope, just an username person.
So I'm not quite.
Ask them to email you.
sure. What's that?
Ask them to
Yeah.
email you.
So if you're able to, whoever put that message online, if you could email me, my email is jobrien@cityoflegrand.org.
I'll put it in
And
the chat.
it is on the, or you can get hold of Carrie. She's the real boss.
She's going now.
All right, I apologize, I'm not shirking the answer, I'm just not quite sure how to answer specifically whatever they might be getting after. And I'd probably mess it up anyway. Anybody else, any other questions?
That could be, Commissioner Scarfield might be able to speak to it. Did you hear the question?
But it wasn't residential treatment ish.
Recovery and treatment services.
Yeah,
Do you have any
residential
updates?
treatment, we still need $15 million. I'm working on that right now.
Maybe just do a paragraph description of what, maybe not, I don't know.
No, the opioid abatement advisory council, we're working on it. And we need $15 million to get the residential treatment facility up and running here. That's a big ask. $15 million is a lot. I'm working through some federal means to get it, and hopefully we get it this year, if not maybe next year. But we definitely need it because these people, they should not be in our jails and they shouldn't be in our hospitals. They should be getting the acute treatment that they need.
Matt and I have a meeting that's happening here fairly soon to talk over this very subject and how to get after it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Goes back to the, are we partnering,
I
question.
feel so bad, I said I didn't know about all the bridges, so way to go.
Matt's on it, like he keeps me straight. All right, anything else? I apologize, I'm trying to get you guys out. I'll tell you what, because of the time that we're at, we did go over quite a bit. Thank you all for coming. I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit. If you wanna speak about anything that we've talked about here today and or something different, feel free to come by. Please leave your email address if you're willing. And everybody, God bless and have a good night.